Welcome to the show, Caitlin Clark. Caitlin, did you ever
What's
think
up,
you'd
guys?
be back?
Cheers.
Excited to be back.
Cheers.
Don't worry. I got this nice throwback theater can.
Well played.
Caitlin Clark just had a raw and unfiltered Zoom interview with WNBA legends Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi, and it was nothing like the usual polished sessions. It felt real and authentic as she opened up about everything, from joining the WNBA and the behind-the-scenes locker room, talked to the truth about those heated NCAA battles. She brought her signature mix of honesty and humor, and what she revealed has the entire basketball world talking. During the chat, she spoke about Diana Taurasi, Paige Buchers, and even addressed the wild rumors Cheryl Swoops had stirred up. It all ties back to that iconic moment a year ago when Taurasi looked straight into the camera and warned Caitlin that the arrival of reality was imminent.
The league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP.
Oh yeah.
Reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're gonna see it on this side, where you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're gonna come with some grown women that've been playing professional basketball.
It's clear Diana completely walked back those comments this year, and Caitlin's response said it all. She flashed a confident smile, gave a small smirk, and followed it with a subtle nod that spoke louder than words. The moment was electric, funny, lighthearted, but undeniably powerful, leaving no doubt that Caitlin was making a statement without even saying a thing.
On your retirement, D.
Thank you.
And congrats.
Now,
to you.
unfortunately,
But here's the thing. Diana Taurasi saw her time on the court with Caitlin Clark as something far deeper than just another game. For her, it represented a true generational shift in women's basketball. She opened up about the atmosphere during their first matchup in Phoenix, describing it as surreal, almost like the last game that would ever be played. The energy was electric, the crowd completely alive, and the moment felt bigger than basketball itself, as if the torch was being passed right there in real time. Taurasi even admitted it was strange to finally face players she'd spent years watching dominate at the college level.
What's your big plans? What are you going to do?
I keep telling Sue I thought I was gonna have all this time to do all these things. I'm more busy now. So if I give you any advice, play as long as possible.
We'll see. We'll get to 10 years. Then we'll think about it.
It's a 10.
Caitlin's game has a graceful flow, but still carries that sharp competitive edge that sets her apart. When she reflected on that intense battle in Phoenix, she admitted it felt deeply personal. With pride in her voice, she recalled how her team was trailing by 10 or 15 points before storming back to take the win. That comeback meant more than just another stat. It was a defining moment. Going up against a legend like Taurasi and coming out on top gave her and her teammates a huge confidence boost, something Caitlin clearly recognized and carried forward.
Like for you two to play against each other.
It was amazing. I've been following Caitlin for so long and been watching her college career just in awe, and to be on the court and the first game was in Phoenix and it felt like the last game that was ever going to be played. There was such anticipation. The crowd was going crazy. All the people that came out to see Caitlin and our teams play against each other. It really was an amazing moment. And you talked about how, if you could play against anyone that is this new generation. So I got to cross paths with Caitlin, at least for a couple games. And to me, that meant a lot, Like, we've been doing this for a long time, and to see Caitlin do what she does is, I think someone said the other day, I'm like, I want the season to start. So
Behind all that competitive intensity, there was an undeniable sense of mutual respect between them. The entire moment felt bigger than just one game. It became a true clash of eras unfolding in real time. Even though Caitlin and Diana are at completely different points in their careers, both are leaving a lasting mark on the game. As they smiled and laughed while reflecting on it all, it was clear this wasn't just lighthearted banter. It was a powerful connection between basketball's past and its future.
Play against D.
Well, I was saying, that game in Phoenix, because we only played in Phoenix one time. And it was before Olympic break. Obviously, we had All-Star there too, but it was a great game. Honestly, I'm pretty sure we were down like 10 or 15 and came all the way back and won. That was like our first like win versus a team that was above 500. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Caitlin Clark is heading into the upcoming WNBA season with more than just momentum. She's coming armed with serious talent and fresh energy. She couldn't hide her excitement while talking about the revamped roster, featuring players like Sophie Cunningham, defensive standouts Sydney Colson and Brianna Turner, new head coach Stephanie White, and experienced veterans Natasha Howard and Alana Smith. Clark not only knows the lineup inside and out, but also understands exactly what each player brings to the court. Still, with 7 new additions and limited time to build chemistry, she's fully aware of the challenge ahead, but she's embracing it with determination and a fearless mindset.
Excited are you for this next WNBA season? New head coach and Stephanie White. You added Natasha Howard, who knows really well, DeWanna Bonner, which I know really well, Sophie Cunningham. I mean, it seems like, you know, from the outside, this roster's ready to compete now, which is easy for us to say. We know there's a process to get there, but like when you see that and you see those names come in, what does that mean?
She's not just sharpening her mental game, she's leveling up physically too. Caitlin couldn't help but laugh when asked about that viral off-season photo where her arms looked unusually jacked.
I mean, obviously on paper we have a really good team, but you know, you only have, I mean, we start training camp I think on the 27th, and then like we have a back-to-back of preseason games on May 3rd and May 4th. So it's like, you have a very short amount of time to put that together, and 7 new pieces, and whether we carry 11 or 12, like more than half of our roster, like that's, you know, that's a hard thing within itself, but we should be pretty good. And like, I'm excited about it. I think what we needed was, you know, we added a lot more experience. Like in the playoffs, we just didn't have that. We were a young group. Even Kels, like obviously with being with the Fever through her entire career, she hasn't really had the opportunity to play in a ton of playoff games. So having that, whether it's Sydney Colson, whether it's DB, whether it's Natasha Howard, whoever it is, I think having that experience is going to be really good for us and that leadership in the locker room. So
then the truth came out. She revealed that she's been putting in serious hours in the weight room, not just to look stronger, but to actually feel more dominant on the court. Caitlin even pointed out the key areas she's focused on improving: mastering the mid-range game, finishing through contact, and adding a reliable floater to her toolkit. It's obvious she's not training to stay where she is. She's training to take over.
A picture that went around showing off your guns. Everyone's wondering, have you been hitting the weight room? Was it the camera angle? What happened?
Like, how did you do that? I've been trying to do that for 20 years.
AI is getting out of control.
What's impressive is how rare it is for someone so early in their pro career to have that level of self-awareness. Yet Caitlin already carries herself like a veteran. She even admitted, "I kind of enjoy it," referring to the grind, the leadership duties, the tough training, and the pressure of guiding a star-stacked roster. She knows the expectations are sky-high, but she's facing them head-on. And remember when Cheryl Swoops stirred things up by calling the Indiana Fever locker room poisonous, claiming players didn't even want to be there?
In the offseason, working on your game.
You're trying to get stronger, like a lot of time in the weight room, and it's like something like I kind of enjoy, so it's been pretty easy for me to like spend time in there and really work on that part of my game. And you know, I think the biggest thing on the court is just like that mid-range area. Like I got pretty uncomfortable in there when I would get in there, whether that's like I didn't really have any floater, I didn't like taking a mid-range jump shot, so just getting more comfortable like when I get my feet kind of into pain, and honestly trying to just add a floater to my game, and you know, finishing through contact and little things like that. But I think just going back to the weapons that we've added this year, like there's going to be so many different things that we're able to do that I think it'll be able to make my life a little bit easier, and it should make everybody's life a little bit easier.
Well, Caitlin Clark finally decided to address that head-on.
There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some
So
new
that-
some
yeah,
new
like
shit's
it's
going
a
on.
She essentially confirmed what everyone had already suspected. Swoops' claims simply weren't true.
You have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like,
Caitlin Clark vividly remembers every moment of her battles with UConn, facing them 3 times in the NCAA tournament, the Sweet 16, and then the Final Four. Each matchup was an intense test, and Gino Arima's squad was always fully prepared. She admitted they had some of the best scouting she'd ever seen, and Gino's basketball IQ was undeniable throughout every encounter.
was like, Indiana, they don't get along, all this. And I'm like, great. And then I'm like, this is the most together team I've ever seen.
Is that one of the hardest things for you as a pro now? Just seeing all the narratives like that one, that your team didn't get along and just having to literally ignore it, deal with it, even though you know it's not true?
It wasn't just flattery. Her words carried a mix of deep respect and genuine frustration. Whether it was UConn's elite defenders hounding her every possession or their constantly shifting defensive schemes, Caitlin made it clear that Gino Arima and his team never made anything easy. He always had a surprise waiting, something to throw her off rhythm, and every matchup with him turned into a full-on chess match from start to finish.
Kind of just become used to. It's like people think they know what's going on inside of your locker room and they just don't. At the end of the day, it's just, the girls that you have in there, and then obviously your coaching staff, and that's all that matters. And honestly, like, the best thing about last year is, like, we honestly had so much fun together. Yeah, we lost our first 8 games or whatever, but, like, we wouldn't have won if we didn't have a tight-knit circle or a good locker room. And that's the reason we kind of turned everything around, is just we, like, needed some time. We were a young group, and, we figured it out. But, yeah, it was really fun.
Top of that, Caitlin's respect extends beyond the UConn program. It's for the players themselves, too. Her tone completely shifted to one of admiration when she was asked about Paige Buchers. She immediately pointed out Paige's composure, saying that kind of poise is exactly what you need once you reach the pros. Caitlin praised her calm and mature presence on the court, noting how nothing ever seems to rattle her, no matter the situation.
Play against a Coach Auriemma coached team. What kind of beast is that?
Well, I think they just are so disciplined. Like, that's just, they're going to do what they do. They're going to do it really well. And also, I think, like, for myself, facing his teams, like, they always had some of the best scouts against me. Like, you can tell how...
Caitlin also went on to say that Paige's mid-range game is one of the best she's ever seen, praising her ability to score at all 3 levels. Coming from someone who's excelled at every stage of the game, that's high praise. She didn't stop there. Caitlin highlighted Paige's versatility, noting how seamlessly she can switch between playing off the ball and running the offense as a true point guard. Watching the two of them share the court someday is bound to be something special.
And so many really good players, and there were games I would go into and, like, the scouts were just like, it was just like, come on, like, why are you going under ball screens? Why are you in drop coverage? But, like, he just made it difficult. He would throw different defenders at me, and obviously having Nika Mule last year, like, she's probably one of the better defenders that I've faced. Like, she's just up in your grill, she'll pick you up 94 feet, like, but then he just always has an answer, has different people, and I think that's one of the best things about him. Like, he has one game plan, but then he has something in his back pocket that he can go to, and that's going to bother you again.
When you watch Paige play and you see her in the next level, what are the things that obviously she's going to take to the WNBA and it's going to translate instantly, and what are the things that, it takes you a couple games to get used to?
I think her poise, like, that's something unique coming into the W. It, like, all hits you so fast. Is like, you're moving to a new city, you're trying to understand new teammates, you have a new coach, while you're trying to live up to all these expectations. And I think that's, like, one of the greatest things about her game is just her poise and her maturity, and nothing ever seems to fail.